the Indian economy has been faring well in the last 4 or 5 years, given the world economic recession being hit and the way world economies are suffering from high inflation, unemployment, and low economic growths. India has fortunately been resilient and moving forward fairly well. I think it is an outfall of the economic reform process introduced by Dr. Manmohan Singh as the finance minister then in 1991, which is bringing fruits. I hope we will see similar reforms coming in. The budget on the downturn is there, and the current finance minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram, is put forward with a challenge to bring in a budget which not only puts the Indian economy back on rolls, but also sees that there is growth coming in, reduction in unemployment, which has started seeping in the last few months. Inflation is brought under control. I would say India is fairly well compared to the rest of the world, but still we are getting some of these contagion effects which come from around the world to India as well. And I think P. Chidambaram is faced with this problem, and keeping in mind also that the revenue losses do not take place and fiscal deficit is kept in control. Now, we would like to get some background on what do you think, if you were in place of a finance minister, if you were the finance minister of this country, what challenges do you foresee and how do you intend to go about resolving them, or what kind of proposals you would like to bring about to get a feed on what does the youth, the generation which is going to be the tomorrow of India, feels in the way things should move, the wheel should move.
As today we are on the chair of finance minister, and I would like to make a reform in tax slab. We have a tax slab of till 10 lakhs, but I would like to make a reform like people are earning more than 1 crore. There should be another slab, like if people are earning more than 1 crore, they will pay 50% tax. If people earning more than 10 crore, they will pay 70%.
In an economy, to work, the main component is capital. If we have capital, then we will develop. So that's what my point is, capital infusion.
As a finance minister, what I believe that there is a need for reinventing the financial democracy. And for that, I feel financial inclusion is the panacea. For doing that, we need to strengthen the bottom of the pyramid as to not let the whole pyramid fall down. From my side, what I would like to say is that there is a need to incentivize the implementation process of the financial inclusion.
As we know that we are in the 21st century, I've seen that many people comparing India with the China. As we take in consideration the global perspectives. On practical ground, China is far ahead of India, especially in terms of infrastructure facilities. We have to motivate domestic as well as foreign investors to invest in the same sector. We have to liberalize the FDI policies to motivate foreign institutional investors.
As a finance minister, I would like to impose wealth tax on the wealthier people, because here in India we have everything in pen and paper and not the implementation part is not there. So I would like to impose the wealth tax on the wealthier people so that we can distribute the wealth tax income to the poorer people.
Today everyone is talking about economic reforms and policies. They are very much about the progress of the economy and development. But what about the implementation part? They are not implemented properly, so they are not able to generate fruits as they are expected. So according to me, there should be a relaxation in financial as well as political system in our country. So there should be less of politics and more of action.
For me, a very important part of an economy is the infrastructure. It forms a very crucial role in the development of an economy. So if we see, there has been a sluggish growth in the economy for past 4-5 years, but there has been the development that is also going on equally. So personally, I would like to increase and infuse the capital infusion into the infrastructural sector.
My main focus is on parallelism. There is a lot of big gap between the monetary policy and the fiscal policy. Government should try to focus on the monetary policies also, so that if there is any step by the RBI, that should be good for the whole economy. Like in the previous, there is a rate cut by the RBI, but there is no any improvement we can see in the economy. And even our IIP figures is negative, our current account deficits, capital account deficits. So such kind of problems are very big for our economy, and government should try to focus on all the issues. They have to coordinate with the monetary policy so that they can improve the whole economy.
If I am the finance minister of this country, my first decision would be to stop the cash subsidy. If we see that in India that there is a lack of banking channels, that is there are not many branches in the whole India. Many villages are not having the bank branches. According to me, this move will hit the poor people as especially the women labor, because the cash might go in the hands of their husband. As a finance minister, what I would like to rather do is to cut the subsidies rather than giving the hard cash to the people.
The expectations from us as a government are that we are phasing out central sales tax. I would not do that, because I would let the CST stay in place and remove that direct taxation would be increased, because if the direct taxation is increased, the slab goes up, people start using black money, and there's a parallel economy which goes on, and we do not want that as a country. So I would focus more on indirect taxation rather than direct taxation.
As a finance minister, I will try to create a balance between service sector and a manufacturing sector in India. As we know that in India we mostly have a service sector economy. So if something goes bad in the world, we still have to buy something from outside. So there is a creation of fiscal deficit. So I will try to put a capital inflow in manufacturing sector in India, so that we can at least meet our own need, what we need in India.
The talk of the day is increasing the tax, but I would like to really show the issue that IIP is decreasing, so the production is decreasing. We need to infuse the cash in it, and it means we have to increase the production. For that, we have to give incentive. So instead of tax increasing, we have to decrease the cash on that, decrease the tax on that very much sector, so that production increases as per manufacturing would increase, and a balance would be there in the service and the manufacturing sector. First thing is this, and the second is we are talking about FDI in retail, but I think that where FDI should come, it should be on a structural level, ground level. There is a need of FDI. And the third and basic point is that there are many rebates in the tax of India, such as conveyance rebate. It is 800 rupees merely per month. What is it? We haven't revised it since 1998. I think there is a need to revise all those rebates.
As a finance minister, I want structural changes. We are the same economy which has witnessed a 9% growth rate, and that growth rate has plunged to 4%, 5% in the current situation, and that is primarily because we are good thinkers but we are bad implementers. I want structural changes. I'll be setting up institutions for direct investments. We have investors, but we lack in promoters. I don't want hot money to plunge in. I want patient money. I want money to be invested here for next 2 decades, 3 decades or so.
I will consider the indirect tax structure by implementing goods and services tax. I have considered 3 benefits. First, it will secure and stable both state as well as government state. Second, it will increase the free flow of goods and services in the domestic market. And third thing, it will lead to promote in the manufacturing industries in India. So it will overall lead to the growth in Indian economy.
My core focus is on the investment strategies that need to be implemented in India, changing the focus of investment from realty sector to the capital markets. What I have seen in Gurgaon, that many of the people who are being rich or who are controlling the funds in India, they are investing in realty markets, and that's the main reason why the fund is not flowing in the capital markets.
As you well know that FDI is already made, but FDI in retail, which will take a lots of time to implement in our country.
If I am a finance minister, I would like to decrease fiscal deficit because it's really high, due to which rating agency had downgraded the India, and foreign investor doesn't want to invest in India. So I would like to disinvest from public sector units, and same time I would like to induce more tax relaxation.
If we see the current account deficit is increasing year by year, so we need to reduce the current account deficit. There are the 2 options to reduce the current account deficit. That one option is the implement in the export policy. We need to more export, and we can do the more export with the help of the more production. As we know that the IIP index of the industrial production is very low to compare the another countries. We need to improve the IIP and then increase the production. That's why we need to also increase the export.
I would like to welcome FDI and make the process of FDI fast track, and also relax tax on manufacturing sector, so that our production goes up.
If I am finance minister, I will introduce some more beneficiary schemes for the farmers, because as we know that 68% of population depended on agriculture. But it will be very shame to hear that 14.3% it will contribute to GDPs.
I'm very happy some of these remarks which you have made, although very critical also to the extremes in terms of views in issues like related to wealth taxes, related to taxation at different levels, related to money laundering, related to black money. Other issues which you touched upon are very important, and I think we should be able to create a white paper or a framework to submit as a voice of the youth tomorrow to the finance minister, and I hope he brings forth some of these suggestions in the budget which comes in a few days from now. Thank you for your views, and I hope to take this forward. Thank you.